Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sal Racing League Italian Formula 3 series here at Monza, the Temple of Speed, as it is kindly named over the years. Of course, this is the same track that Charles Leclerc won at for Ferrari in 2019, same track that Pierre Gasly won for AlphaTauri in 2020, just a couple of weeks ago. A track with a lot of history, Monza. And we're here today with 30 of rFactor 2's best drivers, I guess we could say, currently qualifying around this spectacular classic circuit. One of the fastest circuits on our calendar here, if not the fastest circuit. It's where the drivers will have throttle applied for most of the lap. I don't know the exact number. That wasn't in my notes, but you get the idea. So, interesting things about this particular Formula 3 series as all the drivers go out to start their first flying laps. Before this, 21 of the drivers on today's grid, drivers that are not of the teams of Nutrex, Val, and Stanton. Those teams got top 3 last week. Meaning they were allowed to skip the pre-qualifying session, which pre-qualifying has just happened. There were 30 drivers across 2 servers, all having a good old fight over the fastest lap times. Speaking of the fastest lap times, Ernest Lappins set the best lap time in pre-qualifying with a 1:46.7. Probably the most interesting battle, actually, was Sean Jones narrowly going through to the main qualifying session with a 1:47.9. Group 2, however, the second group to go out on track, they struggled with the time and lap limit. People only allowed 3 hot laps throughout the entire session. Anyway, that should bring us on nicely to this session, as I'm currently riding on board with Carlos Martin. I'm not sure who Anthony's riding on board. Anthony's doing the cameras today nicely and talking in my ear whenever I inevitably make a stupid mistake. But if I can request us getting on board Carlos Martin, we can take you on board for an entire lap and we can commentate you through the lap. So we're heading into the first corner. He's going to brake just before the 50-meter board. He's going to be really careful through the gears down to first gear and then just slowly creep onto the throttle on the exit of the corner using the curb and then letting the car kind of run out wide. In fact, no, he's going to opt for a very tight line heading through Curva Grande, I believe that corner is. Keeping it very tight, foot pinned to the floor, letting up to 6,000 RPM in 6th gear, then braking very hard down to the next corner, 2nd gear. And he's just going to creep around the throttle, catch a little bit of oversteer on the exit of that corner. Head down to Les Mo's 1, almost flat, and then he's just going to flick it down to 3rd gear. You need to be very quick with your brake inputs. Same for Les Mo 2. And then use all of that curb on the exit. These gravel traps, though, are very daunting. They can ruin your suspension if you're not careful. Anyway, heading down to Ascari and then Parabolica. These cars are very planted, but can also understeer so much through this corner. It's going to be a 50-meter board. Really rapidly trail brake down, heading through the corner. The car's going to bounce about a bit, trying to get away from him. And he's going to really open it up now, heading down the back straight. No DRS in this series, interestingly. Oh, apparently there is. Anyway, heading down through now. Oh, I've lost my drift. Heading down through Parabolica, using all of the track available to him, and then he's going to cross the line. And what's that lap time going to be? It's going to be 1:47.1. Probably not enough for pole position. That would probably be aiming at a 46.7, but it's enough for 2nd place so far from Carlos Martin. Quite good. And oh dear, that was Damien. Damien Scoven. I doubt it was shown on the stream, but he's just flew in that yellow Valcar. So we're going to go on board with Blake Checkett. If I can just find him in my driver list. There he is. So he's going to go right through Parabolica. And you can see how harsh he has to be on the steering inputs to try and fight the car through that corner. It really wants to understeer, and then you need to just get your foot down at the right time, and it's really difficult to kind of judge. He does cross the line though, and trying to figure out where he is to go 6th fastest. Of course, you don't really want to get pole position around Monza due to how slipstream is on this track, and I believe Blake's going for another lap here. First gear, he has a slight front right lock up, and then full steering lock on the exit, catches a lot of oversteer on the curb. Again, he's going to take a really tight line. He's going to fight the car through Curva Grande. Putting in as little steering input as he can, trying to not scrub off speed using the tyres. And then second gear, you can see how much he's having to fight the car, catching oversteer, sliding out of the second chicane, heading into Lesmos. He's going to brake harshly, 4th gear, and just try and keep the car planted, and he does. Uses all of the curb on the exit, catches again a little bit of oversteer, 3rd gear, and still fighting the car all the way through here. He doesn't seem to be as graceful. He's very hacky. He's very hacky with his driving style in this particular lap. Is Blake. This is his second flying lap of the afternoon. Heading through Ascari now, 3rd gear, using all of the curb on the first apex, using the second apex little less harshly, but that's because you want to keep your momentum up. You don't want to clobber that curb and sort of ruin all of your momentum heading down this back straight where you can gain so much lap time over the course of it. Now heading to probably the hardest corner on the track. You've got parabolic, and you're just going to brake as lightly as you can, really, and just try and let the car roll out to the exit. As I said, it's very difficult to judge where to put your foot down out of that corner. He's going to cross the line 147.1. Now, where does that put him on this grid? It's going to put him P4. Spectacular lap. Really? Not quite enough to meet Jan Vosnicker's 149.9. 146.9, sorry. And Anthony did just say we're on board with someone, but I can't quite... Watson. So we're going on board with the Val driver of Amari Watson. The Val car being one of the nicest on the grid, actually. He's going through Parabolica now, and his racing line is almost perfect. He's going to use just all of the track. I'm sure... not Parabolica, Ascari, sorry. I'm not used to having someone in my ear telling me whenever I make mistakes. Again, nice line through what is actually Parabolica now. But then again, it just understeer, and then using that little green surface, that's when the car really gets away with you. Not really in control once you hit that part of the track. That mistake lets him only go 8th fastest. We've got 2 minutes left in this qualifying session. 2 more laps if he's got the fuel. Anyway, trying to look someone else. Ernest Lappins is on his... ready to start his final flying lap. I believe he's about to finish a flying lap, though. And he goes pole position for Ernest Lappins, 146.8. A spectacular lap from the Latvian. 1/10 off of what he set in pre-qualifying. He's putting him in a very good position for the race, and he's locked both of the top front tyres heading into turn 1. Perhaps that was a purposeful thing, although it seems that it would probably lose him time over the course of the lap. So we're going to quickly go on board with Jesper Eriksson, according to Anthony Nick. I'm trying to find him in my timing shower. A little bit weird when you're not in charge of the cameras, trying to find everyone. He's purple in Sector 1. Can he make Sector 3 just as good as his first 2 sectors? This could be a very spectacular lap for the Iris driver. Just praying now that that purple car is Iris. It is, yes. Apparently Jake Dennehan is also going purple. Another favourite for pole position. Showed some very good pace in practice. So Jesper crosses the line, 147.3. So he's clearly lost time throughout the rest of the lap. So we're going to go on board with Jake Dennehan. He's heading through the back straight down to Parabolica. So Victor Ivanov has gone pole. This will be Jake's last lap, so he's going to chuck it into Parabolica, try and just have this final bid for pole position. Although, do you really want to be in pole position for Monza? I guess it really depends on your personal preference. He's only enough for fourth, and Ernest is unable to get pole as well. So I think a few people. So I think we're just really now waiting for a couple of people to finish the laps. Damien is on his final flying lap. He's heading down to Ascari now. Really fighting understeer through that corner. Heading down the back straight. Really difficult to sort of get these cars to your liking, as it is a fixed setup almost series for all intents and purposes anyway. Damien able to go fourth fastest, but that's it. I believe that's the entire field done. No, Carlos Martin. He goes fourth fastest. So that is your final grid order, I believe. So Victor Ivanov takes pole position, Blake Checkett in second place, and Ernest Lappins rounding out your top three. Top three all within 2/10 of each other. In fact, top seven all within 2/10 of a second of each other. And the entire field only within 2.1 seconds, which isn't a great deal around a track like Monza. With Slipstream, you can easily make that back. Anyway, I believe we're going to go to a quick break as we wait for the warm-up session, and then we will be bringing you the entirety of the race here on the Sal Racing League YouTube channel. So I guess we will see you in about 10 minutes time. Welcome back, everybody, to the SRL Italian Formula 3 series. We are here for race 1, a 25-minute feature race here with, I believe, no mandatory pit, if I read that correctly. So about to start the formation lap, and on said formation lap, we'll be able to take you through the entire grid for today's race. Okay, so on pole position is Viktor Ivanov, racing for, if I just get that up, racing for Netrex, if that's correct. In second place is Blake Chegit for Spintino Force Polonia. And in third place, spun around, is Ernest Lappins. Oh dear, there's been a massive crash on the formation lap, actually, but Ernest Lappins is racing for Ozone Motorsport. In fourth position is Carlos Martin for Netrex, and I am aware I'm behind on the stream. Fifth position is Damien Skoven for Val Esports. Jan Vosnicka is in sixth position for AFP. Jake Denhern is in position 7 for Santon Esports. And Massimilo Rivoli is Reading Game Studios Racing's first driver in 8th position. Nitrex have got their third driver, Danny van der Niet, in 9th position. Amari Watson for Val in 10th. Jesper Eriksson for Iris in 11th. Cosmo Pasquito for Royal Blue in 12th. Wesley Burkhout is Val in 13th. Kevin Veichers in 14th for United Racing. Alexei Spirichav is currently in the pit lane, but is in 15th for Santon. And then Kasper Nisu for, I believe that is a sensor. Javi van der Klotcher is without a front wing in 17th. Richard Wonders is also for a sensor. No, the Val's second team, sorry, not a sensor, it's in the sensor colours. That's 18th position. Diego Moscato is Santon in 19th. Sean Jones for Reading Game in 20th. Kamil Jablonski for Gillette GP in 21st. Ibrahim Khan in 22nd. Lucas Zimmerman in 23rd. Danny Robbins in 24th. Alex Hallows 25th. Parker Nyber in 26th. And Pal Pankowitz 27th. Grayson Williams 28th. And 29th is Jurgen van Bergen. I'll have to get better at that during the season. But trying to figure out what happened on that formation lap, there seemed to be a massive incident. Hopefully everyone's going to be okay to take the start. But anyway, it should be a very exciting 25-minute race here, followed by a reverse grid sprint race of 15 minutes. Was Jablonski also crashing? People are having so many issues on the formation lap. They have to start in the pit lane, according to Anthony in chat. Everyone being very aggressive in the chat. But we are going to wait for the lights. Viktor Ivanov is taking up his first position. Blake Checkit's eyeing him up on the inside line on that second part of the grid. So we now wait for the lights. It's never long wait for the guy in pole position. Sometimes lasting upwards of like 15 seconds, which seems like an age when you're waiting for the race to start. Of course, this is when your engines start to not like you, and then the longer you wait, the more you have to battle those engine temperatures on lap 1. You can hear the slight murmur of people warming up their engines, making sure that they're in the rev range for that all-important getaway. No traction control in this series, at least for people who don't want a massive weight penalty. As we do go to the lights, it is 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. It's been a really good start for Viktor Ivanov. The AFP's also got away quite well, and the Val is trying to get in there into turn 1. And there's already been a crash at the back. That's someone who's lost their front wing. There's everyone else heading through turn 1 nicely. The AFP behind, looking to make up some positions. Carlos Martin immediately into second place. Blake Checkers, third place. Damien for Val in 4th. Jan Vosnicka is finding himself under pressure for P5 from Jake Dennehan. Jake is going to... I'm on board with Jake at the minute. Jake trying to go around the outside of Jan. Heading down to the second chicane, he's just squeezed out a little bit, unable to make anything in there. It's been a fairly clean lap one so far, at least. As oh dear, I spoke too soon. That's the Val car of Amari Watson and the Royal Blue Racing car having an issue as well. They're back down, but luckily for them, they are the only people who have had much trouble, as that's Cosmo Pasquito, the Royal Blue car, in trouble. He's managed to get away now, but all the pit lane starters are... Oh, dear. Jablonski, no rear wing. He's going to have to crawl back to the pits or retire from this race, I think. That's a really nasty accident, actually, so far. He's going to have to retire, I think. Anyway, heading back to the grid, it is a Nitrex 1-2. Late check-its for AFP is in third position, but not without pressure from the Val car and his teammate Jan Rosnicker. Heading through Parabolica for the first time. Jan Rosnicker's trying to get past Damien. The slipstream is so powerful in these cars on this particular track. We could see 3 wide here, actually, on lap 2. As they go to make it 3 wide. It's AFP, and Val. Heading into turn 1, 3 wide, as there's also challenge for the lead. Carlos Martin is through on the lead. And oh dear, Damien and Jan just have a little bit of a coming together. I think everything's okay, though. They're still side by side through Curva Grande. Damien on the outside, trying to fend off this attack from Blake Checkits, as the other Nitrex car is now coming in, trying to get through. Going around the outside of the Val car, heading into the second chicane, unable to make anything of that just yet. Now Wesley's trying to get involved on his teammate and the Nitrex car of Danny van der Neet. Really difficult trying to judge people's braking points in these cars, as someone's in the gravel up ahead, causing a massive smoke screen. Having a lot of vision problems, the people ahead. But it seems to be fairly comfortable for Carlos Martin up top. Jan Vosnicker, though, still trying to get past Viktor Ivanov, our pole sitter for today. Going on board with Massimilo Riboli for Reading Game Studios Racing. He's trying to get past Jepse Eriksson, but in fact is going to have to defend from Kevin Weichers if he isn't careful. That slipstream being oh so powerful. We could easily find out another situation where people are going 3 wide, heading down this back straight. This pit straight, sorry. Kevin is going to size up and move on Massey, as I'm sure Massey's going to want to size up and move on Jesper ahead. So close, these cars, with a very simplified aero, and it might go 4 wide here, actually. Almost banging wheels, and I think Massey's going to get through. Really wheel to wheel, giving each other no, or at the minimum space they are entitled to give. Massey's going to have another go through Curva Grande. Not quite the overspeed to go around the outside, but Kevin Weichers is actually going to get better momentum through there. This is for 9th position. Massey trying to break as late as he can. And oh, this is so close, and Massey's been touched. He's not round, but he's actually sent one of his own cars almost round. That was Casper Nizio, who's now into the gravel. That gravel's so deadly on this track. A nightmare. That will be some suspension damage, at least, for the Val Junior team. Now we're going to go and find Ernest Lappins, a charge through the back from the pit lane. He's been setting purples all through this race. We're going to see where he can end up. Hoping to get into top 15 for points, and maybe even trying to get reverse grid pole position. But you can't speak yet, as Danny Robbins has retired from the race, actually. I'm going to try and get a replay on that myself to see what happened. It looks like this could just... Oh, it's not a disconnect. He's got it all wrong. Out of Ascari, hits the gravel, and then the car just gets away from him, and there's no real point carrying on after that. A pretty hefty crash for him. So we're going to go to Jake Dennehan and Blake Checkitts, who are having a massive scrap. The Santon and AFP car for 4th position. Blake giving Jake the minimum room, as I said last time, that he's required to give Jake. A massive squabble for these two, as now Jake's going to be forced to the outside heading into the chicane. That is going to give him the inside line for the second part. Again, they're just really wheel banging. They're trying their hardest to just inch ahead here. As Blake gets it a little bit wrong in the gravel. He's lucky to get away with that, actually. Heading through Lesmos too, is there someone else who's got it wrong in the gravel? Jake as well. Massive squirm for the Irishman. Really lucky to get away with that, and it is going to halt and hinder his chances at this position, at least this lap, and make that podium a little bit more out of sight 6 minutes into this 25-minute feature race. Loads of action so far. It's a really intense So Danny and Wesley are having a fight, and they're side by side through Parabolica, actually. Amazing racing. As the Valcar's trying desperately to get past the Netrex car of Danny van der Neet. Side by side down the main straight. There's 3 wide ahead. Nothing comes of that move, though. As now Wesley around the outside, just unable to get ahead of Netrex. The FSR team are so good in this simulator. They all know what they're doing. A team full of very, very talented drivers. Although Wesley's going to be looking to prove the same for Val. Heading through the next chicane. Still not quite able to get past. And a mistake for the Netrex car. Literally, as I've just called a team full of really talented drivers, they make a mistake and the Iris car goes through on both of them. Jesper Eriksson with an amazing move. Almost avoiding a crash and found himself 2 places at once. And Wesley's still trying to get past. Still unable to find the extra pace for the move. He's going to go for it into Ascari, but I'm afraid Ascari might not be a big enough braking zone for this. They collide! And that's a massive crash. A massive crash for the Netrex car. It was a huge accident, and he might have to retire from the race here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get going again. He seems very much beached in the gravel. His engine's going to be overheating. He's going to end up blowing his engine if he's not careful. The gravel on this track is the most realistic I've ever seen in a racing game. As watching the replay, he gets airborne for a second there and finally does retire from the race. Jake Dennehan still going for a move on the AFP of Blake Checkitts. Unable to quite get there. No love lost between these two. Although I do believe they're friends, so that might not be the best statement to make. Such close racing. Jake locking up the front tyres and just edging through, I think. What a move. Was barely able to get that done, but when he did, and then Damien down the inside as well of the AFP, not quite able to make any inroads there, but Jake is into 4th position. Excellent stuff from the Irishman. Right, looking further back through the field for battles to watch as Massimiliano Riboli is through on the Gillette GP of Ibrahim Khan. As we go further back, Nizio is fighting Richard Wonders in the second Valcar. I have to figure out what that team's called. Scuderia Castellana. And oh dear! Once again, one of them's got it wrong, and that's going to allow the parent team car of Amari Watson through. Remember, top 15 score points, and Alex Hallows is squabbling for points. Although we are going to go to Jake, as this is a massive scrap for P4. You'd think it was a win, the way these are squabbling. The Val car, the AFP car, and the Santon car 3 wide into turn 1. Jake's going to have to give way to both of them, as Jan Vosnica is into the lead. We're going to try and get you a replay on that move. So, Jake. Oh, right, squeezed onto the grass. There wasn't much room for that there. And Blake has made a little mistake, allowing them both to. That might stop this battle for a little bit, although I'm sure Damien is going to want to get past the Santon car as soon as possible. Slipstream, oh so powerful on this track, obviously. Monza being pretty much the closest you can get to an oval without there actually being any oval like characteristics, as Damien trying to go for a move through Ascari, not able to do it. He is going to have to look at Blake behind, because as I said, Slipstream's so powerful that you can make a mistake, and you can even be 5 tenths of a second slower than someone over the course of a lap. But if you've just got that Slipstream, you can claw a bit of that time back and stay with them. As the Valcar is trying to make a move, and look at the overspeed that Blake's got from the Slipstream. Almost runs into the back of Damien, heading through Parabolica. Jake's made a little bit of a mistake through Parabolica. That's going to hinder his exit, heading down the pit straight. Blake trying to get past both of them. They could make it 3 wide again. This time it's going to be Damien who heads into the first corner ahead. Is he going to be able to get past Blake as well? He is. And now Jake's trying to edge out Blake, and he does. It's Damien through. So now P4 is Damien, P5 is Jake, and P6 is Blake. Although now heading through Curva Grande, Blake has made the move on Jake. Intense battling from these 3 drivers. Oh, Jake just makes a little bit of a mistake and has to slot in behind. That's going to let Jesper Eriksson go through, and I think that's Jake going to be done with that battle for the time being. Such a close affair, this. Ibrahim Khan seems to be sizing up Massimilo Riboli, but I don't think much is going to come of that yet. Damien and Blake still fighting through Ascari. Damien edged out Blake so far. It's been now 13 minutes into this 25-minute race. 10 minutes or so to go. Damien's going to find himself under quite a bit of pressure here from the AFP car, as Jake's got himself back up here. This battling not doing anyone any favours, and through Parabolica goes Blake Checkitts. Another amazing move, and there's going to be a 4-way battle now for P4. Jesper Eriksson for Team Iris just trying to get through. Jake is looking to make it 3 wide. He's going to try and slot in the middle, is he? He is. He's going to try and slot in, but not quite make it. There's so many cars fighting for this one position, as Jake almost goes through. As they almost all make contact. It's going to be 3 wide through Curva Grande. It's going to be 4 wide, actually. Is there even enough space for 4 wide? Is it? It's 4 wide almost through Curva Grande. Jesper Eriksson not messing around at all, up into P5. It's going to look to make the triple overtake. Not quite going to get it. Although we could do through Lesmos 1. This would be a very, very bold move for the Team Iris driver. No, he's just not able to. Makes a bit of contact and almost into the gravel. He's got off lucky. That's going to allow Jake through. So he's gone from P4 all the way down to P7 again. And now Jake's going to find himself under pressure from Jesper once again. Such an intense battle so far. Jesper almost hits the bridge. Oh, Jesper's been hit! What a save! What a save from Jesper Eriksson. Full opposite lock. He's going to have to come under pressure from Wesley Berghout. But an amazing save to keep himself in the race and keep himself in the point-scoring positions. As they're going to try and head too wide through Parabolica. Wesley easy makes that move. So we do apologise for the issues with the overlay. As there's even more battling. There's so much battling. We're spoiled for choice here in this round 1 of the SRL Italian Formula 3 series. 3 wide again into turn 1. That seems to be a sight that's not too rare in this race. It's the Iris car that's going to make the most out of that. The Gillette GP of Ibrahim Khan not quite able to do anything there, as they're all sideways through turn 1 and turn 2, heading through Curva Grande, as Wesley's going to try and make the move again, using the slipstream to tow himself through and past the Gillette GP. Now he's going to slingshot past the Iris car. He's got the better top speed, braking down into the chicane. Wesley comes off worse, actually. Ibrahim Khan up into P7. And oh, Damien gets so wobbly out of Lesmo 2. He needs to stay calm now because he's done all he needs to do to get ahead, and he just needs to not give the slipstream because it's so powerful on this track. Wesley's fallen right behind that battle now. Blake Checkitts still trying to make inroads on Damien Scowen. But I do believe we're going to go to the battle for P1. As there seems to be a bit of a battle between Jan Woznica of Aspentino Force Polonia and the Netrex E-Racing, I believe it is, car of Carlos Martin. 4/10 in it. And oh, they're almost touching bumpers through turn 1. That 4/10 on my display, it must be a little bit wrong. As the slipstream's going to really prove powerful for Carlos Martin. He'll believe he's done enough for the race win here. All he has to do is pass Jan. Although we know how difficult defensive driving can be on this circuit. Carlos trying all he can to get to P1. A little bit like the actual Grand Prix here. We've got a Carlos chasing down position 1. Got 7 minutes to go in this race. 6 minutes to go. Apologies. My mental maths is not the strong point of my commentary game. Heading... Oh, so we're going to go to Amari Watson battling with Casper Nizio. That gap appears to be 0.2 of a second, although on my screen it looks a lot larger than that. Amari trying to get past for this 10th position. I'll have to get confirmation in my ear, actually, of what position gets reverse grid pole. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know as soon as I get that information. Wonderspun, apparently. Let me get a replay of that up on my screen. Okay, the lead battle then we go to. As all this has got a little bit more personal between these two cars. Carlos, if he knows what's good for him, should actually stay behind Jan until the last lap, I'd say. Just because of how slipstream can be powerful here. You just want to power past heading through Parabolica. Could be very interesting as these two are so close together. There's barely any dirty air, but a hell of a lot of slipstream with these cars. still trying his best to get past. Jan seems to have just a little bit too much for Carlos at this point in time. Although I'm sure he's going to try and power his way past at some point. He'll hope for down the straight, but it seems like Jan's just getting a little bit better exits than Carlos at this point. Just has a little bit higher top speed. He would hope that the slipstream does that for him, but it doesn't seem to be doing so far. That being said, he's getting ever closer at the end of each straight. And then just falling away a little bit through Parabolica. Although he seems closer than ever this time. He's going to try and use this to his advantage. It looks like this could be the time. No, Jan seems to just have a little bit more top speed than him. We'll have to see. Traffic merging. They seem to have very similar top speed. Carlos just can't get past. He just needs a good exit. At some point, he just can't get close enough. Jan Vosnicker is one of the most skilled drivers on this grid. He knows how to soak up pressure. And I'm sure he'll be trying his best to hold on to this race win for AFP. Still, they're getting ever so close. And just while we watch this, I would like to draw everyone's attention to Ernest Lappins. Not the cameras, though, because there's nothing going on with this race. But he has managed to get himself up to P11. Starting from the pit lane, is in the points-paying positions. And in a very good position for the sprint race. Because I'm hearing that one of the sensors crashed further back. I'm sure you'll get a replay of that in time. As this battle for the lead heading into the last 3 minutes of this race is kind of getting a little bit more tame. So we are going to go on board with Kasper Nizio for Scuderia Castellino. Oh, Castellano, apparently. My Italian pronunciation is not the best. He is battling though with Blake Checkitts, heading into what I believe will be the final lap of the race. Final but one, penultimate lap of the race, definitely. I can say is he's going to try and get past this AFP car. He opts for the outside. I'm not sure Blake was expecting that, actually. He tried to send him to the inside, but Casper's managed to just find a gap. Outbroken, though, by Blake Checkitts. Oh. 3 cars now for the lead, actually. This is the most exciting thing heading into the last, or it will be the final lap. This goes down to 3,000th of a second, it says on the last update on my timing chart. Apparently, it's going to go right down to the wire as now. Carlos Martin around the outside of Ascari. Is he going to be able to make it there? Wheel to wheel? Not quite. Jan is just able to edge him out, and Jan will want to try and slow this pace down, actually, to make sure that this is his final lap. Maybe do a bit of a cheeky lift. So we will be going for one more lap. I don't have the live time. I only have... So we are going to go to a final lap here. Jan hasn't slowed the field just enough. Perhaps the reason this is close is because of how much we've... Oh, no. No, it is over. Is it over? On my screen, it says it's over. Anyway. Oh, Jan won. I do apologise there. I don't have the live thing on my display, but Jan won. Photo finish, actually. He won by 1.4 tenths of a second. Very interesting. Carlos Martin came second. Victor Ivanov came third. Damien Scoven came fourth. Jesper Eriksson fifth. Jake Denhan sixth. Wesley Burkhout seventh. Amari Watson eighth. Blake Checkitts ninth. Casper Nizio 10th. Oh, and Jurgen will be on the sprint race pole, so we'll just finish off the top 15. Ernest finished 11th, Lucas Zimmerman in 12th, Diego Moscato in 13th, Alexei Spivchev 14th, and Jurgen in 15th. I wonder what happened to Massimilo Ribli as he crossed this line. He was running quite comfortably in the top 15 and seems to have ended quite early his fight for points. Okay, so Anthony is intent on fixing the overlay for you all, as you can see for a second there, final confirmation of the all. So we're going to a quick break for the stream, and then we'll be back with you for the 15th, for the 15-minute sprint race. We on? Welcome back, everybody, to the SRL Italian Formula 3 series here at Monza. We just saw a very exciting and slightly controversial, according to the Discord, race 1. We are now going for a reverse grid up to P15 sprint race. Alexei Spirichev, last season's champion of the AMS League, on pole position. Diego Moscato in second place. Luca Zimmerman in third position. Ernest Lapins in fourth position. Casper Nicchio in fifth position. Blake Checketts in sixth position. Amari Watson in seventh position. Wesley Burkhout in eighth position. Jake Dennehan in ninth. Jesper Eriksson in 10th. Damian Skoren in 11th. Victor Ivanov in 12th. Carlos Martin in 13th. Jan Vosnica in 14th, winner of the last race. Jurgen van Bergen in 15th place. Richard Wonders in 16th place. Cosmo Pasquito in 17th place. 18th position is Javi Vanaglocha. Sean Jones in 19th place. 20th place is Kevin Reicher, starting from the pit lane, it appears. Ibrahim Khan is in 21st place. Massimiliano Riboli, 22nd place. Grayson Williams, 23rd place. Paul Pank Ivwes, 24th place. I mean, you'd think I'd be able to pronounce someone who drives me in other series' name, but apparently not. Parker Nioba in 25th place. Kamil Yablonsky, also starting with the pit lane, in 26th place. Alex Hires in 27th place. Danny Van Der Neet in 28th place. And Jack Mayer in 29th place. 15 minutes plus. Not just one lap. Okay, so we're back. Just in time for the race start. Alexei Spirichev is taking up his grid slot. Last season's champion, looking to do the same on rFactor 2. Although, looking at the points after race 1, it's going to be a bit difficult. Of course, there is still 9 races to go in this championship. Over 5 weekends over the next few weeks. As you can see, the grid just wriggling about in the background, trying to find their grid slots and get that last heat into these slick tyres. Only one compound in this series, of course, no pit stops and no refueling. Of course, drivers are allowed to make pit stops if they should. Once again, it's a long wait for the lights for Alexei, although after the first race, he'll know what to expect from the entire thing. Is that someone? No, it's just lag. Everyone has taken up their grid slots, so we should be going to 5 red lights shortly. There's a lot of waiting in this series. As I do apologise, that's my phone notifications. As we go to 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's been a perfect start from Alexei. Ernest Lapins has tried to make up positions off the line. I don't think he has. Diego Moscato has also tried to pressurise his teammate heading into turn 1. Not quite able to do it as Alexei locks up. That's possibly flat-spotted his tyres. He might have to come into the pits to get that changed. We'll have to see. Ernest Lapins stays in 3rd position. Casper Nicchio stays in 4th position, and everything else is the same. Amari Watson's coming under pressure from the other Santon car of Jake Dennehan and his teammates. Actually, they power through Parabolica. 3 wide. Everyone else, not Parabolica, sorry, Curva Grande. Very difficult to talk fast when you haven't done it for an entire off-season. Everyone else through turn 4. Is that quite cleanly? No, there's a big accident. People flying all over the shop. Everyone seems to be able to carry on. Okay, though, Jake Dennehan down into 13th position. However, people seem to be struggling with brake temps here. As that's one of the Valgars into the gravel, and that's going to be very difficult to recover from. Actually, I think they're okay, though. So we're going to go on board with Ivanov, Victor Ivanov, pole position sitter. Last race, 3rd position overall. Trying to make up positions through Ascari for the first time. Understeers all the way through. He's going to have to come under pressure from Javi Vanaglocha now. And his own teammate, actually. Carlos Martin now on board with him. Heading down to Parabolica. This is going to be a very brave move on his teammate. All he knows now is to not hit his teammate. Heading through Parabolica, giving each other as little space as they're allowed to, and Carlos Martin is through. A nice little move from him as we've finished lap 1. We are 3 wide, so I didn't quite catch the instruction there for turn 4. 4th position. No, that's for the lead actually. And oh dear, Spirichev. Ernest Lapins is through, but he's almost spun, and that's going to allow Spirichev back through, I believe. Casmanizio is under pressure from Diego Moscato. It's absolute chaos. Diego trying to go through. Very, very difficult to make passes stick on this track as they're heading through the second chicane, unable to quite make it. It's the Val Junior car who's in second place. Ibrahim Khan has retired from this race. And now Ernest Lapis is trying to go through in Lesmos 1, unable to do it. There's never a move there. And he's managed to save the car with little damage. Excellent little save there from Ernest Lapins. Now Diego Moscato trying to make a move on his teammate Alexei Spirichev, who has now been passed by Nizio, as Moscato does go through into second place. Spirichev almost letting him past there. Mari Watson will try and get into that 3rd position, though I don't know if these two Santa cars are going to be battling heading through this race. So we're going to go on board with Zimmerman, there's a lot happening with him actually. Oh, it's from the ozone driver of Ernest Lapins, will feel that it will be a win thrown away in this race. Although he is going to try and make the most out of it. He seems quite annoyed from the Discord chat after race. He seems quite annoyed from the Discord chat after race 1. It's not sure he's only ever going to fire him up more to win this one. Heading through P5, it looks like he's got already, and he has. Emphatic move from Ernest Lapins. He needs to calm down now and make up position by position. He's got 10 minutes or so to go. And Nizio looks fairly comfortable in the lead of this race. Diego Moscato following it behind nicely, and Alexei Spirichev holding position with Santon there. We're going to go on board with Carlos Martin. Now he's spun and taken out his teammate. If you rewind the stream, I did say a couple laps ago, all he needs to do is not hit his teammate, and he's gone and done it. And now the agonising wait was he lets the entire field through, and that's last position into the gravel. Actually, he's stranded. He's beached in the gravel. Race over. Santon cars are too wide, actually, almost. Although surely they're going to hold position. No, the leader! Massive. There was a lag spike. Massive accident. Massive accident for the leader. I'm trying to see what happened. Oh dear, I think there was a lag spike. As there was a massive lag spike, and he just takes out 2 of the cars. Not really what he wanted. He looks so squabble. Cars all over the road. So the Castellana car gets the lag spike and then just into the wall. Seems to be a couple of issues, actually. I'm juttering about a bit on the server myself. I'm sure everything's okay. They're almost 5 wide. Heading into turn 1 now for B20, and oh, it's like a car park. I'm not behind, I don't think. No. It says live on my screen. Apparently one of the Val cars have gone off. I'm trying to find that, though. I'm going to have to try and figure out if I am actually behind here. So Lapins is going to try and make a move into Ascari. They are side by side. I said he'd want to win this race. Unable to quite get through heading into Ascari, though. Now they're heading through down to Parabolica, one of the most famous corners in racing. Ernest almost bump drafting Spirichev, actually. As he now is going to not go for the move. He's going to tuck him behind, trying to get a good exit, heading down the straight. Now Blake Checketts has retired from this race for Aspentino Force Bologna. As now Ernest trying to get past. He's clearly got the better exit, but he's going to have to tuck behind the Santon car. You'd think to get that extra slipstream and just propel him into range for a pass into turn one, as we're just about halfway through the race. A lock up for the Santon car, and he does go straight on. He's going to have to give Ernest that position, as he does. Good sportsmanship from the Santon driver. Mari Watson now trying to make a move into second place. Oh, there's also a move. Jesper Eriksson on Damien Skoren. Whoa, they both crash. Sprint races are always chaotic, and that Val car really struggling on those sausage curbs. Not designed for these cars at all, which is actually interestingly what Peroni found out. The sausage curbs designed for Formula 1 cars, and it causes some very wacky accidents in Formula 3 cars. Kasper Nisjo, a little bit upset in live stream chat, and you have to feel for him, as it's basically the sim racing equivalent of mechanical failure that has let him down there. I know what. Someone's crashed behind. They have suspension. I'm trying to figure out who it was. It was Lucas Zimmerman. Oh. Not ideal. I'm not sure what Jan Santon's talking about. OnlyFans. Mari going through. He's got the move. Easy. P2. Excellent drive from the Val driver so far. Now Javi van der Klotch is going to go on Jake. Jake not quite able to give him the room in the limits of the car. He's got 6 minutes to go in this race. Now Damien's going to go on Massey. He's going to go for his team boss. He's going to try and overtake his team boss whilst Massey's team boss commentates the race. A very interesting dynamic. Actually, he is through on Massey. Massey into P10, and that's one of the other cars. Oh, that's Sean Jones, I think. Has crashed with the Ascensa car. I'm going to have to try and find out what happened here. I'm sure Anthony's put a replay up on the stream. Oh, I don't know quite what's going to happen. Oh, that's completely Sean's fault. He just outbrakes himself, and that is a nasty, nasty accident. Sean's going to carry on, but it looks like he might be getting a penalty for that from first view. Without so much going on, I'm trying to frantically scroll through the field to try and find what is actually happening and what I'm being directed to. Anyway, I think back to the lead is probably the best option. Ernest. Excellent try. Amari going for second place. Looks like he's going to go through. Out brakes. Really struggling Spirichev with locking up into that first corner. His tyres might be shredded as Amari easily into P2. Spirichev, last year's champion, will feel so bad about this race. It will feel like it's his win, if not his, if not gifted to him, and then he's thrown it away all the time. as we've got 4 minutes left. I believe there'll be 3 laps. Jake Dennehan going for a move on the Iris car, actually, as I'm trying to frantically figure out my cameras and all my... Just as we switch for it, the move is done and dusted. So that's interesting. Looking forward to that. Spirichev heading through to Ascari. Around the outside of the Val car, this is Santon on Val. This is exactly the type of battle we want to see. Support for Val in chat, actually, heading through this battle. This is going to be a really interesting fight, heading through Parabolica. Which way is he going to send him? He's going to send him to the inside. And this is going to allow Spirit to have a brilliant run, heading through the Parabolica. Beautiful move. And he has made it stick. But I'm sure Amari's going to try and have a say about that. Heading into turn 1. As it is, they're wheel to wheel. There's like 1,000th in it, if that. Lovely from Alexei Spirichev. Lovely move there. Mari's going to try and come back at him, though. Heading through to the second chicane. It's going to be a big lunge, not quite. Spirichev still struggling with his locking up and things like that. His tyres must be driving for like 3 flat spots at this point. In fact, they do look fine from my view. I wonder if he's struggling with vibrations all through the wheel. So we do apologise about the stream overlays issues again. I'll do my best to keep you updated on everything going on. We've got 2 minutes to go, and this battle for P2 is as hot as ever. 1 minute to go, sorry. Yes, I can't count. As Ernest is going to come across the line to start his final lap, and this is a battle for P4. Jesper and Jake Dennehan. Jake's going to go around the outside of Parabolica. If he pulls off this move, it'll probably be the most impressive of the day. By far, the Santon car around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? No, I don't think he's quite got the legs. Excellent racecraft from these two. In the slipstream, as Ernest has started his final lap of the race. And Maury Watson into P2. We've just missed that because this battle's just as exciting. Yes, but giving Jake just enough room, but nothing else. As Jake's going to try and make this move for P4 on lap 1. It's actually on the final lap, sorry. As the battle ahead was just as interesting for a second. Not anymore, though. Is now Jake down the inside at Curva Grande. Almost a tactical concession there from Jesper. There's now Jake around the outside as they're wheel to wheel, and oh dear, they've both spun. So Ernest Lappins is passing through Ascari for the final time in this race. Jesper Eriksson has retired from the race. So, heading through Parabolica now. It's going to be Ernest who wins this race. Or the unlikeliest of victory, starting from the pit lane in race 1. What a win. What a victory for Ozone Motorsport. Excellent race and an excellent win for the Latvian. And Maury Watson comes home second for Val. An equally impressive result. And Victor Ivanov down in P3. A brilliant podium for Van der Klotcher fourth. Besquito 5th, Jake Dennehan 6th, Damien 7th, Jan Woznica 8th, Danny Van Den Neet 9th, Massimilo Rivoli in 10th, Wesley Burkhout 11th, Richard Wonders 12th, Jack Mayer 13th, Alex Hallows 14th, and Grayson Williams 15th. That rounds off your points scoring positions in today's race. So I believe we're going to interviews now, are we? If I could just get that confirmed in my ear, please. So we are. We're going to interviews. Very interesting, as I'm actually having a little bit of an issue here because I can't see my mouse cursor on the game, so I'm having to guess where it is. So I believe if Anthony wants to do the interviews, or does he want me to do the interviews? Okay, Ernest. Race victory in race 2. Good
Well,
race.
I won. Yes.
Now, I think probably the best thing to question you on would be there was obviously the obvious incidents in race 1.
Yes.
Can you talk us through what actually happened there?
Sorry for what. So what happened was when I did the setups and everything, I pressed race and it basically froze me and everybody else started rolling. So once it spawned me on the grid, it spawned me into somebody else. And then there was a small pileup, and then guys just started crashing into each other because they thought there was going to be a restart. And so in total, like around 8 or 9 cars got damaged. Well, actually, I don't think it's that many, but like 5 guys had to start from the pit lane, and the rest had to start with damage.
So, starting from the pit lane, you had an excellent recovery drive in the first race. Anyway, although I've heard some people are keen to report you on a jump start, although we'll see what happens with that one.
Well, yeah. To be fair to them, yeah, I did kind of go on when the lights were red, but as I had noticed, I thought that lights are not gonna turn green at all because it was some type of bug. Basically, that the lights are just gonna stay red forever, and because the whole grid had passed us and we've been staying there, like all of the grid had been already past turn 1, and then the pace was good and mainly banking off of other crashes and disconnects. We got pretty decent position, P11 for the restart. In the feature race, we started P4, which was also pretty decent. Then there was that crash in front of us with Diogo, and I don't know what the other dude was. That really caught me off guard, but it was good for me because I didn't have to waste my time overtaking them.
So, well done on your victory. And we look forward to seeing you next week. You look like you could be in good standing for the championship with a couple of good results. So, best of luck.
Yeah, same.
We're going to drag in Victor Ivanov. So we've dragged in Victor Ivanov.
Hello.
So Victor, P3 in both races. Pretty simple. And if I'm correct, that would put you in the lead of the championship after the 2 races.
In all fairness, I wasn't really happy after the first race because, after having pole position and being demoted to P3 is a bit like, it's not very nice. But then in the next race, I wasn't really expecting anything, just to stay out of trouble. I don't think I could. I think I took my teammate out, which wasn't really ideal. Yeah, P3, no, I only finished P3 because other people actually crashed into each other and ran out of fuel at the end. It's not that my driving was brilliant. I'm honest here.
So, obviously, you now seem to have put yourself in a good position heading into the next 8 races. It would be actually in the 5-round championship. Are you feeling confident that you can sort of push on and maybe take the entire championship?
Confident? I don't know. It's only round 1. It's too early to count the chickens. So let's see. Let's see next race.
Okay, so we're just going to quickly get into with Carlos Martin. So thank you very much for your time, Victor.
No problem. Thank you so much.
We'll just drag Carlos in. So enjoy the rest of your day. So I'm going to drag. Oh, he's been dragged in for me. Hello, Carlos.
Hello.
Good weekend today. Good weekend today. Good race today. Talk us through it.
I don't agree. Personally, failed in race 1. I was 1 liter short. In case that we were like on full pace, so I had to let go Jan and be saving fuel behind him. Like I was lifting all time behind him, and I tried to overtake him in the last lap, and I failed. So that's a free given P2 after failing quali, and then race 2. Well, I prefer to not talk about it.
Oh,
I think
what
overall it was well, we had an incident between cars of our same team, and it resulted in me in a gravel trap, with me with 0 points. Well, I think overall that's with the pace we had, it was a very bad performance for the team.
All right. Well, thank you for your time anyway, and hopefully we'll be able to bounce back next week.
Yeah, we will work on that.
Right. So we will see you then. Hello, Alex.
Oh, hello.
So I have been ask you if you feel confident to contend for the championship as Ozone. Did you expect to win today?
Well, I've got to be honest. I did not know that the win in the second race was going to happen, and I want to say congratulations to Ernest for winning that. I mean, that's huge. Because if I'm correct, the last win was Alexi driving for us in Canada, if I'm correct. And yeah, I didn't expect this win to happen. Especially the driver change last minute. Yeah. Overall, I think it was a good race for him.
Yeah. So, one of the as Maxime used to put it, one of the OG constructors in not just this series, but the series that preceded it, Vals, and of course OFC. So you're finally here for the Formula 3 series.
Yep.
You must be thinking, surely, that the title is possible.
I don't want to think too early. It's only been round 1. Maybe after the next few rounds, maybe we could, think about the title or something. But I think for now we're gonna keep our goals maybe mildly steady at the moment and carry on to next race.
All right. So thank you for your time and best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to drag in Jake Dennehan. Jake, not the way you want to end your race 2, but lots of positives to take from that. Anyway, lots of battling and a good overall finish in race 1 at least. What happened with the incident?
Which one?
The one that ended your race, or the other guy's race?
The last lap? I thought it was clear. I moved and we made contact, and I just mounted the curb and hit him again into the second corner.
So, other than that, a fairly successful weekend for you. Do you think you're in good standing now to kind of improve over the rest of the season into next weekend at Magello?
Well, I feel like I didn't do as well as I could have done, but I hopefully learn from this and do better next race.
Right. Well, I believe we're going to have to start to wrap up the stream now. So thank you, Jake, for your time.
Thank you.
And so, yes, I will be wrapping up the stream now. So, thanks a lot to Anthony Nippon on the cameras this evening. He's been in my ear throughout the entire time, telling me what to look at and a lot of the time what to say. So, thank you very much to Anthony for that. Other than that, we will try and get the overlay issues fixed for next weekend. Next weekend is Magello, and I will not be there commentating in all likelihood because of various things, but we'll try and let you know on the socials about that. Other than that, we would like to thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all later.